Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with us, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. So you probably either know someone or have heard of someone who has the magical skill of being able to listen to a song just one time and then sit down and play it back. And it's always portrayed as something that's magical and mystical. Let me tell you another tale. I've got a friend who can listen to Chinese and after hearing it only one time, make the exact same sounds. And you're thinking, well, your friend obviously just knows Chinese. Well, it's magical and mystical to me because I can't do it, and he can. But yes, it's just a matter of learning the language. It's the same thing with music. Those people are just listening to it going, okay, yeah, it's that thing, and then that thing, and then, yeah, it goes to that thing. They can sit down and just recreate the sounds. That's what transcribing is going to do for you. So these lessons are going to take a look at the melody. We're going to figure out what are the notes, the individual notes that are being sung. What are the chords, all the band, what are they doing back behind it? And then lastly, we'll be doing the scribing part of transcribing where we actually write it out in sheet music. So this is a totally learnable skill. So if you stick around for enough of these transcribing lessons, someday someone will be telling that magical and mystical tale about you. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And thankfully, I think that's about all we need to cover before the lesson. So if you'd stick around afterwards and fill out the survey, I would love your feedback. But for now, let's have some fun and make some music. All right, welcome back, everybody. And yes, it is just me. The incomparable Kendra is not here today. She's got a sore throat, I think. So anyway, I'll be trying to pay attention to the chats and also transcribing this wonderful, wonderful song. It's got all kinds of funky chords in it. And the version that we're going to be doing is not the version that I already know. So that'll be kind of cool because a lot of the wrong notes that I hit will not be on purpose to make it seem like I'm a beginner at this thing. It will actually just be because I'm screwing up. So let's make this PDF together and see what we can get through here. I'm pretty sure that YouTube and maybe Twitch, but not so much Twitch, definitely YouTube and Facebook are going to kick me off right away because I'm going to be playing this copyrighted stuff. And they don't care if it's legal or not. They just care about covering there. Here we go. Me too, Sarah. Me too. So the first thing we want to do is just find the key. The key is the group of 7 notes that all sound right-ish, that make up like the majority of the notes in the song. So our options here are the key of C, the key of C sharp, the key of D, the key of E flat, the key of E, the key of F, F sharp. Any one of those. Once we get up to this note, then we're just back to the key of C again. So the key of C, you actually know what a key is, even if you don't think you do. It's the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So then we can do that thing starting on any note. To pick another random one, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You don't have to know all your keys already in order to find out all the notes for a key for a song that we're trying to figure out. So for this one, we're just gonna play any note and see if it sounds like there's a possibility that it could maybe be one of the notes of the song, or if it'll sound terrible. Now, I'll give you a little hint here for those of you who already know what keys are and stuff. This is the key of C. It follows the same pattern as every other key. Root, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. That part's not as important as much as taking a look at the wrong notes, all the black notes in the key of C. Knowing that this is the same pattern as every other key, so they're all root, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Then we have the same number of right notes and wrong notes in every key. It's 7 right notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, before it starts back over, and 5 wrong notes. And all 5 of those 5 wrong notes are only a half step away from one of the right notes, one of the notes inside the key. So if we land on a note that we absolutely hate and we're sure, oh, that is a wretched sounding note, it's definitely not in the key, then if we just move a half step in either direction, we'll land on a note that we do like. Now, unfortunately, I think I already know what key this is in. I think he plays it in the same key in every recording. So I know what key this is in, but let's go ahead and play one note here. We're gonna skip the intro for now. And here we go.
Georgia.
That one sounds terrible to me.
Georgia.
And if I keep trying to play it.
The whole day through.
Hey, Matthew. So that one right there, I don't think is in the key. I know for sure it's not in the key. So that means that, good news, the note on both sides of that one are inside the key. I could probably make both of these work. This is gonna take some practice. This is not a thing that you get the information in your head and then all of a sudden you can find the notes for any key. But the more of these you try, the more you'll get used to this type of a thing. So these 2 notes right here, knowing that this is the wrong one, and then we've got 2 right notes on both sides.
I said, Georgia, Georgia.
So that was just picking a random, terrible note. Gave me 2 notes that sound great. And again, we're only going for 7 notes here. So already I have an A and a B that I like. And at this point, I asked Kendra when she's here, which direction do you want to go, up or down? And she picks one. And so I'm going to go ahead and pick up for now. But we'll go ahead and fill this in here, sure, with that color. So we like the A and we like the B. And so we're just going to keep building on the top part of this. So we're not going to go that direction. We're just going to go up this direction. So if I like this note, I might like this note. But if I don't like this note, that's good news because that means I will like the note on both sides of this one. So I'm going to try to make this one fit in if we can. Here we go. Cool. Thanks, Wayne. So I like both of these.
I said, Georgia.
I think I like all of those. So this means that I'm either gonna like this note or this note. Let's try this one.
It's moonlight through the pines. Other arms reach
I don't think
out
so.
to me.
So that means if I don't like that one, I'm probably gonna like that one.
Other eyes smile tenderly.
So for some of you, I know I'm going like really frustratingly slow. Like, yeah, I don't know which one of that is. Move on to the next one. And some of you are like, I have no idea what you're doing at all. So in either of those cases, if you're already on to the next one, great. Then go find the key. If you're one of the people who's like, wait, I have no idea if that was the right note or not. A lot of this is just guessing. Knowing that there are 7 notes that are going to all be right-ish. They're all going to be inside the key. And that you, by listening, people can tell the difference between the two, means that there is a path to success for you. I'll say even for me, there are some songs I listen to now, and I play a couple notes, and it takes me longer than I would expect. In some cases, it's frustratingly long. In fact, just this week, I was transcribing the end of the Matlock theme. It doesn't matter. The end of the Matlock theme. It's a stupid little theme song from an old TV show, and I just couldn't figure it out. I just sat at the piano for a really frustratingly long amount of time trying to figure out what the notes were that I was hearing. So if you're in that situation, that's fine. That's just keep on practicing, keep on trying this stuff. So far I've got these notes, and next I'm going to try that note and that note. I will speed up here a little bit for those of you who are wanting me to move on to the next thing. So. That one sounds good.
Oh, Georgia, no peace I find, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
So, all these notes right here are the ones that I like. So I'm going to go with a C and a D. And yes, this PDF will be available later on as soon as we make it. There we go. And then this one right here, which was the F sharp and the G. So these are all the notes that I like. So the question is, what key am I in if I like all of these notes? Now, the one that's most common to guess is the key of A, because that's the lowest note that's here. However, we got to remember the way that I came up with this was just picking a random note and then just like seeing if that one was good. So I started out with a B flat. That was just some random note. So it's not necessarily the key of A, but it could be the key of A. Let's go check the key of A. What we have is 1 sharp. Now, just by me saying those words, I know some of you are like, wait a second, hang on, the circle of fifths, 1 sharp, I know what key we're in, and you would be right. But for the rest of you, we could go down to this chart right here that lists all of the major keys. And yes, Wayne, you're right. So we go down to this list of keys, and we would see the key of A hopefully only has 1 sharp. Good luck to us. No, that is not the case. It's got C sharp and F sharp and G sharp. That's not going to work out at all. So we need the key that only has 1 sharp. And yes, you're all right in the chat. It is the key of G, has 1 sharp, and that is F sharp, which means we're in the key of G. And at this point, I would highly recommend, especially if you've only done a few of these before, that you go back and double check that and actually play through the key and see if the key feels right. Because in some cases it won't, especially if you're in a mode. And no, I'm not going to explain what a mode is. But learnpianolive.com/modes. I will explain it in great detail, greater than you want. Yeah, so we're definitely in the key of G here. That's a lot of really good news. So back up here on our note inventory is what I'm calling it. It's just where we like try to put together a whole bunch of notes that we like that sound good. Then we've got, this is an F sharp. And that is all of the notes that we need to know what key we're in, and it's time to move on to the next thing. And the next thing for now is our feature of the day, which Kendra would normally, thank you, throw up there. So this is going to be slash chords. This has nothing to do with the lesson. This is just something extra in case what we're doing so far is too frustrating or too simple. Then slash chords is one of the tools that we use in the reharm videos that we do, where we're just playing, like we'll play a C/E, and all that means, we actually just did this in the kids lesson too. The C chord usually has a C at the bottom of it, but if you see a C/E, that means you're supposed to put the E part in the left hand. So this would be a C over E or a C/E. Now, here's the part that we didn't say in the kids lesson. Technically, this isn't a slash chord. This is just what's called an inversion. It just means that the lowest note of the chord is not the name of the chord. So normally a C chord should have a C as the lowest sounding note, right? But this right here is just an inversion. It just means that one of the notes in the chord is the lowest note and it's not the name of the chord. So C over E or C over G, those are just inversions. A slash chord would be like C over D, C over B, C over B flat. Any of these would be like actual slash chords, because the note that we're playing down here has nothing to do with the chord that we're actually playing up here. And that's when we start to get into like poly chords and stuff like that, that we also deal with a little bit in the reharms. But anyway, slash chords, technically, like a C over E or a C over G is not a slash chord, but you will see it as a slash chord all the time in these, like if you go to ultimateguitar.com or any of the sites where they give you free chords for songs and stuff, you'll see them. And the slash chords aren't really slash chords unless the left hand has nothing to do with the right hand, or at least it seems that way. And we'll be finishing up with the melody on this and the chords and trying to transcribe all the rhythms and all that stuff in just a second. But first, here's this. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.